Hudson County View, live and uncut. I'm your host, the guy that tells you 2 and 2 makes 3, your favorite cult of personality, John Heinis, of course, the latest and greatest at Hudson County News. So quite a few things happened in the past week, as always. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about Liberty State Park. As you guys know, the Department of Environmental Protection 1 week ago unveiled their plan, and it has the support of pretty much all stakeholders, including the Friends of Liberty State Park and the People's Park Foundation, which is not something that we have seen in recent months. So we're going to talk about the implications there. Also going to talk about the Hoboken Hoboken Traveling Soccer Club that had a very interesting week. I mean, we went from having one program that's been there for about 2 decades, ended up basically pulling out of this entire endeavor with the city. And now we're going to have this new league starting up called Hoboken United. So that's a little complicated, but I'm going to break that down for you today. And we're also going to talk about a Hudson County Sheriff's Officer, well now former Sheriff's Officer, who pleaded guilty to a fraudulent short sale back in 2015. So that's an interesting one out of the U.S. Attorney's Office of New Jersey. So we're going to talk about all that and a whole lot more right after this word from our sponsors.
Stevens Jersey City Ford Certified Parts and Service, located at Route 440 and Communipaw Ave, is your #1 source for Ford and Lincoln automotive needs. We use certified Ford Motorcraft products to keep your Ford running in top shape. Motorcraft parts are backed with the Ford warranty, which includes a 2-year unlimited mileage guarantee. Our team will have the right Motorcraft part to ensure the best performance from your Ford or Lincoln. You can order in person at the parts counter or online. Let us help keep your Ford or Lincoln in the best shape at Stevens Jersey City Ford.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design studio and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunley Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Hudson County View, live and uncut, John Heinis. So let's talk about this Liberty State Park plan. So this is something that's been under discussion for probably the better part of the pandemic, and the big fight here has been between the Friends of Liberty State Park and the People's Park Foundation. The Friends of Liberty State Park have been clear that they want this to remain a free park that is accessible to the people and basically is all-inclusive. And the People's Park Foundation, at least at one point, they wanted some large-scale development that included like a stadium and an amphitheater. And a lot of people came out against that, and we've been working on compromise as the DEP comes up with this full-scale plan. They've had some public hearings. You know, they posted quite a bit on their website and social media. And finally, last Tuesday, they did this open house that had a couple slideshows and also some renderings you could see of what the park looks like. Long story short, this is going to have arts, it's going to have culture, it will have athletics, but no privatization whatsoever. So let's dive into it with that said. So we heard from New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection Commissioner Sean LaTourette, And in a virtual press briefing, he said, "I will not relent in the legal truth of the fact that the privatization of public land is not a thing, period, full stop. It's in the spirit that we offer the options to the community that are based in what is provided by our institution routinely to communities all across New Jersey and that we could certainly pursue here." So as you guys are well aware, I mean, he'd taken this position a couple months ago, and the fact that it hasn't changed is welcome news for advocates to preserve the park. Now, having said that, what was interesting is that the People's Park Foundation came out through their president, that's Bob Hurley Sr., and he actually said that they're all for this plan. They said, "We are pleased that it includes nearly everything that the community and the People's Park Foundation has advocated for, most importantly, cleaning up the toxic contamination that has left hundreds of acres of park fenced off and unusable, and adding new active recreational facilities. We'll thrilled to see that this new plan contains a new community center for year-round activities, multi-purpose athletic fields for soccer, football, baseball, cricket, and field hockey, courts for basketball, tennis, and pickleball, facilities for track and field and swimming, and an outdoor amphitheater, all for the public to use and enjoy." So obviously this is a comprehensive plan. This is probably going to take a couple years at a minimum, but there's a lot going on here. It's going to be 3 phases. First, they're going to do a cleanup and restoration of the park's interior. That's going to have a 5.6-mile walking and running trail network, and will also clean up the future Southern Athletics Club site that Hurley just mentioned in that statement there. Now, the next phase, you'll have the near-term development of public amenities along Audrey Zapp Drive. Of course, that's the main roadway that gets people to the park. They're going to talking about playgrounds, concessions, and rehabilitating and repurposing the train sheds out there, and a public community space and marketplace. So that's something that would be very new and different that I think a lot of people would enjoy. And then the third and final phase, they're talking about the southern and waterfront areas with recreation, again, the track and field, basketball courts, racket courts, skate park, and a community pool. You know, this is, again, all stuff that we've heard in the past couple years. This is the first time that we've seen this actually put into action. So, you know, we also heard from Governor Phil Murphy, Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop. They said they're on board with the plan. Assemblywoman Angela McKnight, the presumptive state senator of the 31st Legislative District after November. So, you know, this looks like a plan where everyone's on board. Obviously, we don't want to jinx it, but as of right now, knock on wood, it looks like this thing is in the record books as far as this fight on the park goes. But we'll see what happens when they put the shovels in the ground, and when we hear more from the DEP, we will certainly keep you guys abreast. Now, let's move on to the Mile Square City for a moment. Now, we're going to talk about this traveling soccer club. Now, obviously, this is not something that we typically talk about. We usually are talking about recreational opportunities at the municipal level. The reason, though, that this has become a big deal is that there was a football club, and it was run and operated by the Hoboken City Football Club, to be specific, by former Health and Human Services Director Leo Pellegrini. Now, we heard about a week ago from Mayor Ravi Bala, supposedly, allegedly, this club owed $76,000 in field reserve fees. So, you know, it cost X dollars to reserve the field, and they're claiming that they never paid them before, and therefore that's how they owe all this money. Now, if you look at the municipal code, it's actually Chapter 58, the city's municipal code, which Bala had referenced in one of his letters. Nonprofit entities will be charged $50 an hour for the use of recreation facilities in city parks, while business entities will be charged $125 per hour or class. And in both circumstances, the field must be reserved for a minimum of 3 hours. So, you know, certainly that's worthwhile info. But the point here is that the Hoboken City Football Club actually announced a couple days later, less than 48 hours later, that they were going to cease operations after this season. Obviously, that puts the city, specifically all these traveling soccer families, in a precarious situation. Now, we heard from Mayor Ravi Bala on Thursday night in another letter to travel soccer families, and he said that he had a meeting with a group of parents. And long story short, there's going to be this new nonprofit. It's called Hoboken United. And by the way, on that point, tonight at 10 p.m. is the last opportunity for families to reserve a spot. So if your child or family member was involved with the Hoboken City Football Club and you want to stay involved in the Hoboken Traveling Soccer Arena, then this is the way to get considered for the program. So what he said was, following a discussion that touched on several options, the parents decided to establish a new 501c3 organization, independent from the city, that will assume responsibility for travel soccer in Hoboken for the upcoming fall season. The parents have represented to me that this newly created organization will strongly resemble what you were used to, that the final details about this program will be released in the near future. I want to be clear that I fully support this initiative. So, it sounds like a nice idea in theory. We're going to see what happens in execution as we get closer to the fall. But certainly this was a topic that was talked about in Hoboken widely throughout last week. And we're going to see what happens. And, when I asked the parents to comment on Sean Quinn and Andrea Fletcher, Sean told me that we believe this is a long-term solution. Given the time constraints, our immediate focus was acting quickly to ensure that the children of Hoboken will be able to play travel soccer this fall. We're already working closely with the city to procure field space and do not anticipate the associated cost to be an undue financial burden on the club members. We're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Not everyone celebrates the birth of a baby. You have options. Don't panic. New Jersey has safe havens for unwanted infants. Leave the baby with staff at any hospital, ER, police or fire station, or rescue squad. Call the number on your screen for safe haven locations or go to www.njsafehaven.org. No shame, no blame, no names. Safe Haven.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Hudson County View live and uncut. John R. Heinis. So let's talk about some developments here in 2025. Now, something that I definitely did not expect to be talking about today was about Jim McGreevey potentially running for mayor in 2025. So as we know, the current mayor, Stephen Fulop, is running for governor, and that's a June 2025 primary. And, he said this third term will be his last for that reason. Now, we've heard quite a few names thrown in the mix, and we've spoken to most of them. The council president, Joyce Waterman, Woody Councilman James Solomon, also County Commissioner Bill O'Day. So this is an interesting wrinkle because in this story by the New Jersey Globe, Jim McGreevey didn't actually have any comment and he didn't make any kind of formal announcement. But what did happen was he got the endorsement of State Senator and Union City Mayor Brian Stack, which certainly never hurts to have, regardless what office you're seeking or may seek. But Stack told the Globe, there would be no better mayor for Jersey City residents than Jim McGreevey. I look forward to being a part of his campaign for mayor, devoting any resources or assistance I can provide. I'm really excited. I'll be there day and night for him to make sure he gets elected if Governor McGreevey decides to run. And again, McGreevey provided no comment, so we don't know where this is going, but this would certainly be a really, really interesting turn of events because at that point, it would be over 2 decades since he resigned as governor. That was in August 2004. And of course, he, at that point, came out and said he was a gay American. And, he had this whole scandal about having his boyfriend working for the state. So, that was obviously something that got a ton of press about 2 decades ago. And since then, he has done a lot with reentry. He has the New Reentry Corporation, and that's a statewide reentry program that obviously was started here in Hudson County, and they have a headquarters in Kearney. And before that, he was at the Jersey City Employment and Training Program, and he got unceremoniously removed by the chair at the time, the board president, Sudan Thomas. And, that was in the midst of him feuding with the mayor, of course, Stephen Fulop. And, this interesting thing about this, too, is, McGreevey isn't just a former governor. He actually won a state assembly seat, and he also has been the Woodbridge mayor. So, it's something that's quite interesting, and he's also been a state senator, too, actually. I didn't even realize that until the other day. And perhaps the most interesting wrinkle to this story, and there's a lot here, but, he actually, when he ran for governor and won in 2001, he beat the Jersey City mayor, who happened to be a Republican. That was Brett Schundler. So, there's some chatter here that there could be a Schundler-McGreevey rematch, which would be beyond interesting. I don't even know if there's a word for that yet. But, we're going to see. I mean, we're going to see what this does with the current field. And, we're still 2.5 years away, so there's going to be numerous changes between now and then, but certainly we're going to stay on top of this one. Now, with that said, we're going to talk a little bit about Stack in another light, because over the weekend, him and Nick Scuteri, who's of course the New Jersey Senate president, and lesser known fact, he's also the Union County Democratic Committee chairman, they actually teamed up and they did some stops in Roselle and Plainfield on Saturday ahead of a heavily anticipated tight mayoral contest in Roselle. That contest pits the incumbent, his name's Jonathan Shaw, who won a special election in 2020, and he's taking on Jamel Holly, who's a former state assemblyman and also a former Roselle mayor. Now, we had a chance to hear from Scuteri over the weekend. He said Brian Stack is more than just a respected leader within our Senate caucus. He's a trusted friend whose generosity is only matched by his ability to motivate his supporters. I am truly grateful for Brian and each and every person who showed up on a holiday weekend to help bring home victory for our Democratic team on column A. And quite a few electeds from Union showed up, and that includes Mayor Shaw, as I just mentioned, and also the Plainfield Mayor, Adrian Mapp. I'm not going to read them all, but it sounds like it was well attended by the elected leaders over in Union. And we heard from Stack briefly, who said, I am so happy to support my good friend, Senate President Scuteri and his team. These are dedicated leaders and volunteers, and I'm thrilled to support these great Democrats in Union County. So not something you see every day. It's quite rare that you see Stack leave Hudson County for campaign matters. So it's certainly a wrinkle that I wasn't expecting. Of note, though, it does seem like Scuteri and Stack have a pretty good relationship. Scuteri endorsed Stack and 6 other legislative candidates on the June 6th ballot back in January, and that's when the Hudson County Democratic Organization made their endorsements for the 32nd and 33rd legislative districts. And of course, we all know that earlier this month, Stack was very influential in that West New York municipal contest. While it was technically a Board of Commissioners race, obviously Albio Series and Cosmo Cirillo were running for mayor, and Series ended up winning in definitive fashion in, thanks to the aid largely of Brian Stack and his campaign team with their just ridiculous get out the vote operation. So, certainly this is someone that you want on your team whenever you're going to be seeking office, as we just mentioned with McGreevey. So, this is an interesting development. We'll see what happens in the next week. We're already just a week away from primary day. So with that, we're going to take another break. We'll be right back.
This thing rips! Oh, it is so quick. There's a lot of punch packed into this Bronco Sport. It's got a ton of horsepower. I love it. All right, now we're getting hairy. Now we're getting the fun stuff. Yeah. I like how we can get over or around almost anything.
Yeah, I dig your ride. Super dig it. It's gonna be a good day.
Growing up can be tough on kids. So much is going on in the world that can cause depression or anxiety. Unusual behavior for more than 6 months could mean they need help. Don't wait. For real-time mental health support and counseling, call New Jersey's Children's System of Care. CSOC offers free mental health supports, substance use treatment, and services for intellectual or developmental disabilities for all kids up to age 21. Call now, 1-877-652-7624.
Introducing the all-new Ford Maverick. A truck for people who do stuff. And people who make stuff. People like Gabrielle Union.
I make this look good, don't I?
Who haul whatever they want to wherever they want. Like wood to build things made of wood with. And friends to get weird with. It's for long trips that the standard hybrid engine with a targeted EPA estimated city fuel economy rating of 40 miles per gallon helps with. That an 8-inch touchscreen connects with. And any trip that this interior makes more comfortable. But we'll let Gabrielle tell you all about it.
Or I could just tell them it's a Ford truck that starts at less than $20,000 MSRP.
Yep, that works too. The all-new Ford Maverick, built to defy expectations.
Hudson County View live on Uncut. John Heinis. So just a quick note out of Jersey City. And we had this right to counsel vote that, a lot of people have been anticipating. As I mentioned last time, this ended up both being first reading, where we're talking about both the right to counsel proposal as a whole and the development fees. But they passed pretty overwhelmingly, both of them, 801. Ward C Councilman Rich Baggiato abstaining on both. The reason that he did that is he said he's waiting for the changes for 1 to 4 family houses to be put into effect. There were quite a few other amendments, though, which we've discussed at least briefly. But, just to highlight some of those, there's a few. So, number one, what they're going to do is they're going to make this where there's a tenants advisory board to approve educational and enforcement programs, universal program, pending new funding sources, allowing the director to provide mediation services, allowing paralegals and law students the ability to be hired via request for proposals, and allowing the council to approve the amount of contracted lawyers and in-house staff annually. Also, the first ordinance, the city's new RTC office, wouldn't open prior to January 1st, 2026, though a provision in there does leave open the possibility to doing so a little sooner. So certainly something to keep our eyes on, but we're probably not going to see or hear too much until that June 14th council meeting starts to come around the corner for those important second readings. Now, let's move on to this situation out of the U.S. Attorney's Office, and this is a former Hudson County Sheriff's officer admitted to lying in connection to a fraudulent short sale back in 2015. Now, what happened here is Osvaldo Hernandez, he's 54 years old, of Avenel, New Jersey. He pleaded guilty before U.S. District Judge Michael A. Shipp in Trenton Federal Court to an information charging him with 1 count of conspiracy to make false statements in connection with the release of a loan. Now, according to the federal authorities here, it says from September 2015 to December 30th, 2015, in order to induce a bank to discharge the mortgage he owed on his house in Keensburg, Hernandez agreed with others to make false statements in connection with a fraudulent short sale of the property. This including asserting that he did not have any money to apply towards his mortgage delinquency, that he did not intend to stay in the house for more than 90 days following the short sale. As a result of the fraudulent short sale, the bank discharged over $98,000 of debt against Hernandez. And if you read the criminal complaint, it says Hernandez owed $252,357, including late fees, as of June 2015, about 8.5 years after purchasing the property for $239,900. So they've got a sentencing here that's scheduled for October 4th, and the false statements conspiracy charge is punishable by a maximum penalty, potential penalty at least, of 5 years in prison and a maximum fine of up to $250,000. So that's going to be interesting to watch what sort of punishment he receives. So we're going to obviously keep our eyes peeled. Now, moving over to the Peninsula City for a moment, obviously it's been relatively calm waters over there politically in Bayonne, but what is a little bit interesting is that earlier this month they voted in favor of the local medical center, the Bayonne Medical Center, acquiring $40.55 million in state and federal grants, and this is something that the Jersey City and Hoboken City Councils have done as well. So as you're probably well aware, CarePoint Health owns the Bayonne Medical Center, Hoboken University Medical Center, and Christ Hospital in Jersey City. So all three of those governing bodies, as I said, voted in favor at this point. And CarePoint, who has converted to a nonprofit relatively recently, that was back in February, is seeking about $104 million in state or federal grants between their 3 facilities. And we heard from Bayonne Mayor Jimmy Davis. He said healthcare should not be about dollars and cents. It should be about common sense. And Bayonne deserves a full-service hospital that is able to provide the highest quality healthcare to our residents. By securing state or federal funding, not only will their presence be expanded, but it will also guarantee access to top-of-the-line care for individuals who require and deserve it. So not really too much more to be said there. This is something that was pretty expected. Obviously, the elected leaders in the southern part of Hudson County want the medical access they have to these hospitals to continue, and obviously the grant funding will allow these programs to continue to do exactly that. So, let's take a look at what else is going on in Jersey City, actually. So, just a quick mention here. Last week we had the 3-year anniversary of the death of George Floyd, and Jersey City Together held a memorial service, and they talked about how they want to see mental health services specifically when 911 is called, they want to have these people that are not law enforcement, mental health professionals, social service workers respond to lower the risk of a fatal or otherwise dangerous encounter. So that was kind of interesting. Talking about some of the rhetoric that we heard during Black Lives Matter movement, the calls for social justice to end police brutality, things of that nature that, of course, you're all well familiar with. So they were talking about that. And they basically said, let's not forget what was called for in those rallies across the country. Let's act now, and we could do this in Jersey City. There was a request for proposals in April 2022 that was approved by the council, but the proposals submitted to the city were not approved due to the associated costs, so they're in a bit of a limbo right now. So we're going to keep our eyes peeled on what happens there. We're going to take another break. We'll be right back.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Good Friend Self Storage in Northburg, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunley Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Not everyone celebrates the birth of a baby. You have options. Don't panic. New Jersey has safe havens for unwanted infants. Leave the baby with staff at any hospital, ER, police or fire station, or rescue squad. Call the number on your screen for safe haven locations or go to www.njsafehaven.org. No shame, no blame, no names. Safe Haven.
Hudson County View live on Uncut Shot, our Heinis. So 2 more before we call it a week here. So we're going to talk a little Jersey City Planning Board. Now there's this site on Route 440. It's in the Stadium Plaza. They had that Kmart that's been closed for a little bit now. Now they're actually coming back with a Target. So that's very interesting, I think. And according to officials, it would be in the waterfront plan development zone, which includes the shopping complex. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense. And this would be an almost acre property that would have 515 parking spaces. Obviously, that's way more than you see in most retail around here. And overall, it's a 19-acre project near Newark Bay, and it would be approximately 120,000 square feet total. So it looks like it would be basically one of those superstores, as they like to call them. And they want to have a variance to include a 6,400 square foot restaurant in the front, though they didn't finish that proposal. They just wanted to get the Target off the ground here. And they certainly accomplished that. It ended up being another unanimous vote, despite the fact that there were some concerns about a variance to clear the size of the parking lot and also take care of some of these flooding concerns. Though of note, the development already has gotten a permit for stormwater issues from the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. And they also said that this plan is going to have a number of trees, bushes, and some shrubbery, so going to make this as green a project as they can, given the circumstances. So, with all that said, it looked like everyone was pretty excited to the project. As I mentioned, it passed unanimously, 5-0. So, that's an interesting addition to the west side. We'll see when we get some shovels in the ground there. And just to call it a week, we're going to actually just briefly chat about West Hudson. Now, as you recall, last week, my guest was the commissioner candidate, Alex Valdez, who's challenging Al Cifelli. And he actually had a great quarter. He actually raised $21,051.32 compared to $11,720 for Hudson County Commissioner Al Cifelli. And those are according to their May 8th reports filed with the New Jersey Election Law Enforcement Commission. So this is the only race where you have a challenger that has outraised the incumbent. And as I just mentioned, not particularly close. Now, as far as cash on hand goes, Valdez has $10,946.84 compared to $6,119 for Cifelli. So this is certainly interesting. We're going to see where this one ends up, but this looks like this could be a tighter than expected one. And in case you haven't been following redistricting, just a quick reminder that the 9th District, it's largely in West Hudson, it's Harrison, Kearny, and East Newark, though there are small portions of Secaucus and Journal Square as a result of that redistricting. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it a week. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching Hudson Media Group. Follow us on social media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.